Hey everybody, Tradiest Trades here with a weekly recap for the stock market. Not telling you buy or sell anything here. Disclaimer: hey, this is just for education and information and for fun, you guys. For you guys to have fun on YouTube. No, really, I hope you learned something here. And I'm gonna dive into it. Gonna take a look under the hood, and we're gonna take a look at price action. And I'll show you what I'm looking to do in these markets. Okay, so to start with, what happened this week? Well, we had a pretty much not much happened this week in the weekly bar. Look at that weekly bar close. So a couple of things that I'll be wanting to pay attention to this week is, do the bears take us down and take out last week's low before we go up to the high? The reason that is important to me is because if it does that, that will confirm a short-term weekly low. And what is that? Is that a lower low? Oh, it is. That's not good, is it? So a lower low in an established downtrend. So what I mean by established downtrend is the 18 period moving average is sloping down. We've had two full range bars below, and we followed through below the low of those two bars. We're in a weekly downtrend, folks. This trend is down on the weekly. Okay, so that means if we get a weekly short-term high here, that's going to mean the weekly momentum is to the downside. And that means if we get confirmation on the daily, we're going to have some pretty high probability short opportunities coming in here. Now, if you follow my channel, you know that I've been hunting longs in the stock market based on COT data. I analyze the COT data using the YM contract because the analysis there works better than it does in the E-mini, S&P, and the NAS. But we've already had a pretty decent move here based on that COT information. So I'm going to look at some other things too under the hood, but that's the first thing I'm noticing. Weekly close, the way it did. If we come down here, that's a weekly short-term low. Now, what would get me bullish? So this is what's called a Larry Williams fake out bar. So we had a down close, so that closed down for the week, but it also closed below the close of the prior week. So that is a bearish looking candle, right? That looks to most folks to be a reversal bar. It looks like we're going to start selling off, which might be true. But if that fails and we actually get up to the not last week's but the weeks before high here, as I'm going to mark, that would be a fake out buy based on the weekly. It shouldn't get up there if this reversal bar is going to do what it should do, and that should catch people off guard and should mean we got some more bullish momentum ahead. Now, if you're just trading based on using moving averages, this isn't exactly a great looking place to be longing because we're right under the 50-week moving average as the red line. Now, mind you, we haven't had a full trend change based on the weekly 50-period moving average, and what I mean by that is we've had two full closes below, which were these two. This one's an inside bar, it doesn't count. But we didn't trade through the low, so that didn't confirm it. So now we've traded back up into this MA, that count for that 2-bar count resets. Same method as I'm using on the 18 period. So we're not in a 50-week downtrend yet, so we're still technically bullish even though we're below. So we're not super bullish, don't get me wrong. It's not great that we're below here. This is a good place to be cautious. All that being said, we are currently in a weekly upswing. If we don't confirm a weekly downswing, oversold pullbacks on the daily will be nice, and I'm going to show you why that's important to me. So here we're in a daily uptrend based on the 18 period moving average, two full range bars above it that were not inside bars. We took out the high, so that tells us the daily is in an uptrend. So what are sort of opportunities will I be looking for? Well, I will want to see, do we get some sort of oversold pullback using the percent R, just a simple percent R, everybody, nothing complicated here. And if it gets oversold, be looking for buy opportunities. We're also worth mentioning is we've got a 50-day moving average trend change as well. So we got above the 50-day MA, and then we also had follow through. Same method, nothing complicated. I'm doing the same thing on all these different time frames. So that's bullish, but what's interesting is the S&P has been lagging the NASDAQ. So the NASDAQ has put in a monthly swing low. So this level here, if price trades up to that confirms that price has put in a monthly swing low. So I'd like to see that because then the monthly momentum, we're in a monthly upswing in alignment with the weekly upswing, in alignment with the daily bullish price action, which, you want all these, it's like codes in a like a password for your computer. You have several characters that you need to put in to get the computer open. Same thing with trading. I'm just looking for several things to be pointing in the same direction, and that tells me I've got some high probability trades on my hands. So it's kind of a mixed bag. We are, in some ways, not in a good area too long. In other ways, it could just quite easily just keep going up. That's what these stock markets do. They surprise people. If everybody's still really short, well, there's a lot of people that experience a whole lot of pain if we go higher, right? So let's take a look under the hood. I'm not going to look at the COT data just because it is harder to read in the ES E-minis. Like I said, I watch it on the Dow. But let's take a look at sentiment. Sentiment's in the middle of nowhere. We're not really bullish. We're not really bearish. It's kind of average sentiment. We are not really over or undervalued relative to gold or treasuries. We're overvalued relative to the US dollar. That's not surprising though, because the US dollar has been just getting absolutely crushed, which I think is going to change here. If you watch my currency review videos, you'll know why. Let's go over here. How about seasonal? Well, generally, we're in a pretty strong seasonal time. In fact, this week in May is typically a bottom. We put in a bottom here and then we go up until mid-July. So we're in a bullish time of year for the stock market. So that's bullish. What else do I notice? Looking over here on the daily for some confirmations, I find it interesting that the price open interest and volume has been leading the price action a bit here. So what I mean by that is, the price is making lower lows while the price open interest and volume is leading. It's actually breaking out to new highs. And what will often happen with the price open interest and volume is it'll be a leading indicator. So we could have a more bullish price action on the way. The pro-go here, the professionals are in control of the buying. In other words, the large trading the large speculators, the trend followers, they're doing the buying right now, not the public. So that means the public. This trend has some strength. Now, that being said, the thing I don't like is this whole move up. We've had a declining ADX. So what that is this is the Larry Williams pinch, and that's not good. That's not bullish. That means I wouldn't be surprised if we do get some sort of pullback here. What the pinch is, basically ADX tells us trend integrity. So price is increasing while the ADX is decreasing. So decreasing ADX means lack of integrity in the trend. So we're getting overbought on the percent R while we're getting shown the trend lacks integrity. I would anticipate some sort of pullback. Pullback wouldn't be a bad thing. And overall, things still look relatively bullish, but this is an area I want to be extremely cautious in. So there's other higher probability trades out there this week. Like I think crude oil is setting up for some pretty nice longs, and the euro is setting up for some really nice shorts. So there's easier trades out there than the stock market right now. When you've got these sorts of things going on where you're approaching major, moving averages, you want to just use a little bit of caution here just from the price action reading perspective. So that's it, you guys. That's how I'm analyzing and perceiving and speculating the S&P E-mini this week. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, and share. Also, if you want to get into my free Discord, shoot me an email to tradiustrades@gmail.com. I'll get you in there. I share my insights every week, and we got a great crew in there chatting about the markets and sharing our trades all the time. So if that sounds like something you'd be into, be happy to have you. And hope you found this valuable, you guys, and have yourself a great rest of your day. Thanks.